Alright guys, so this is Living with Bree. I am coming to you to do a review today on my Invisalign. I had been playing around with the idea of getting Invisalign for over about 2 or 3 years now. I had looked into getting braces and I just didn't like the idea of it. I'm not in high school anymore. I'm a nurse. There's a lot going on in my life and the last thing I want is a mouthful of braces. I mean, honestly. So, I got Smile Direct Club. I am in love with the idea. I am in love with the cost. It is a really big cost saver. I think my dentist wanted something over $5,000 to almost $8,000 to do Invisalign, and I think the $5,000 was for braces. The Invisalign is going to take me about 7 months. My braces would have taken me about the same amount of time, but it would have looked hideous the entire time. So I'm going to talk to you a little about my Invisalign, what I like, what I don't like, what was difficult for me. I love the ordering process. Taking my impressions were a little bit more difficult. I ended up having to order another set of them to do them myself. It was a little bit harder than I anticipated. Once I got it down though, it went pretty fast. I sent in my impressions and it was like boom, like they were with an offer. They told me I qualified. It wasn't a big process, but I'm a professional procrastinator, so it took me about 6 months before I made a concrete decision, sent in my payment, and then maybe within about 3 weeks of sending in my payment, I got my first kit. My kit is this exact thing. Oh, welcome to the club. It is very simple. It came with 6 trays, so I got a total of my 6 trays, and it's gonna take me 7 months. I'm supposed to change trays every 3 weeks. I have in a tray now, so I kind of get like a slight lisp, which is why I keep kind of fumbling on words. I've had them in for about 5 weeks now, so this is tray 2 for me. At the end of this week, I'll be going into tray 3. 5 weeks in, and they've sent me my final 2 trays, which is tray, I believe, 7 and 8. Along with my next treatment, they sent me some of the stuff that comes with your first box. In your first box, you've got an emery board. You'll get a hook, which is to help you take your aligners out. When they're in really tight the first couple of days, it's kind of difficult to get them to pop out. If you use your hands, you're risking cracking them or messing them up or stretching them out too much, so they really recommend using this tray. Along with that, you get these things called chewies. I have some chewies in my little bag that I carry with me. I love these. The first couple of days in, it's really difficult to get your trays to kind of sit tightly onto your mouth or onto your teeth, so you use these. They're like little rubber balls, basically. You put them in your mouth. You chew on them. It helps to snugly fit your aligners just a little bit better. I like them. They were good to chew on for me when my mouth was sore. The first couple of days, I did have a lot of soreness. My teeth were really sore. I put them in. The first day was a 12-hour shift, and I kept them in most of my shift. But towards the end of the shift, I had to take them out. They were just really uncomfortable. And I almost thought for a little while that I wasn't going to be able to do this. And one of my friends said after the first couple of days, it gets a lot better. I am really happy I listened to her. After the first 3 days, it did get a lot better. I took some Tylenol for the soreness. It helped to deal with some of the pain. It was perfect. And then I couldn't really explain it, but I was having a lot of kind of like cutting. Like the aligners were cutting underneath my tongue and at the top of my lip. So when I went online to look up some information on that and I joined the Smile Care Club group on Facebook, I found out that the emery boards work really well for that. So I took the emery board, I kind of filed down the inside of my aligner just slightly to make it a little bit more smoother, and it helped with the cutting. My friend said even after that, after a couple more days, your mouth kind of adjusts to having the aligners in and it doesn't cut you anymore. So going into tray 2, I was a little bit nervous because I was afraid I was going to get that cutting again, and it didn't happen. My mouth had, I guess, adjusted to having the aligners. My tongue had adjusted to having the aligners, and I haven't had that issue. I also haven't had any issues with losing or cracking of my aligners. I've dropped them a couple of times, and they haven't broken. I carry like a little aligner kit. I have this little pouch that I had at home. I get a makeup subscription every month, and with it, these little pouches came, so I thought this was kind of perfect to put them in. So inside of it, I keep my Smile Direct Club case. This case you get with your initial set of aligners to keep your aligners that you're in right now. Also, they recommend keeping the aligners that you have or have used during this process as you go along, because you may need to go back to them later on, or if you lose a tray, break a tray, whatever happens to it, you can either go back to the liner that you had in right before. So I have a liner 2s in, so I keep my liner 1 trays. I can show you what they look like. They're clear. I keep them in my little pouch, that way just in case I lose these, I have them. I go on a lot of little weekend trips and things like that, so these come in really handy. You always want to make sure you clean them, wash them, brush them like you would brush your teeth, because they do get plaque buildup and things like that, so it's really, really important that you do that. I also carry a little travel toothpaste with me, just because you brush your teeth a lot. I'm a snacker. I recently started like a diet program as well, and you're supposed to eat every 3 hours, so that means I brush my teeth literally every 3 hours after I eat. Along with your trays, you get their whitening kit. It's called Glow On, G-L-O On. Today is the first day I've actually used it. It comes in these little pouches. You twirl it, you twist it off, or twirl it. I like the word twirl. Twirl it off, and you kind of squeeze it. When you squeeze it, you get this little gel. Let's see if I can pull it out for you. A little bit of gel that comes out the tip of it. I used one, so this is the one I actually used. As you can see, there's still quite a bit of gel left in there, so I think I can use it for another set of whitening. I didn't do before pictures of my whitening. I should have, but I haven't. It has a little bit of a weird taste to it initially. The taste goes away after about maybe 15-20 minutes. It tastes kind of like if you ever gargled with peroxide. Very similar taste. My teeth aren't sore right now. I do have sensitive teeth, so I'm waiting to see how they feel after this whitening treatment, because I may not be able to continue whitening if it gives me that tenderness. I don't like having it, so I'm not willing to torture myself to whiten my teeth any more than what they are. I can tell you about what I'm correcting. I do have a gap. I'm not sure if you can see it now. I have my tray in. I can take them out for you. A little gross. A little saliva. Okay. So, a soil. As you can see, I have a gap. I have a slight overbite. And I have a very minor amount of crowding on my lower, in my lower teeth. Very, very little. So I'll be correcting all of that with the Invisalign process. Again, I said it's supposed to take me about a little bit over 7 months. I have a total of 8 trays. And it's been going good so far. I'll see how it goes as the process continues. I'll do an update on the whitening kit, and I'll do an update in a couple more months on how the process is going. If you guys have questions, comments, anything that you want to know, maybe I can answer for you. Shoot me a message down below or ask me a question. I'll be more than happy to get back to you guys. Thank you. This is Living with Bree. This is a blog about my life, what's going on currently, what's going on in the future, and I'll be doing a couple more updates and a little bit more reviews on a couple other things I have coming up. But, see, it's not really hard. Pop them in, pop them out. For me, I've had these in a little bit, so they're kind of loose right now. So, talk to you guys soon. Again, leave your questions or comments below. This is Living with Bree. My name is Bree, and this is what's going on in my life.